Go to record. All right. It's 6 o'clock. I'm going to get started. I've got another class at 7, and so I want to go ahead and get started. Welcome. I will be your clinical coach. That means I replace your internship supervisor. From my reading of the differences in the handbook, the biggest change is that the clinical coach does not grade your work in TaskStream. You have an evaluator in TaskStream, and that leads me to my first point. You will go through a peer review process that your class instructor will teach you if you have not done it before. If you're in 601, where you comprise your evidence artifact components. You submit those in Blackboard for peer review. Some of them are done written, some of them are done peer reviews. Regardless of the format of how your work is peer reviewed, once it's been peer reviewed, it goes to TaskStream. Once in TaskStream, if your evaluator does not give you a 3, all is not lost. The evaluator, as you can see on the screen, the evaluator contacts me after providing the candidate with detailed feedback. It is then my job to work with you to develop a strategy to improve the evidence and resubmit revised evidence quickly to get you to 3 at least. I have extensive experience with evidence artifacts, and so that should not be a problem. If there's a problem, I will be able to spot what your problem is and get you through that. I have been an internship supervisor since this program started in 2010. I have had more interns than everybody else, I think, combined, so that won't be a problem. We'll get you to. Second thing, and this is for the folks starting in 601. You will start with the first of the 6 evidence artifacts called the APSEL, Applied Analysis for Student Learning. You will do all 5 components of that, and then a 6 where you put them all together and submit those in TaskStream. That is changed. It's actually a revisit to the first year of the program in 2010. Since 2011, students who are in 602 through 605 have been doing random components from different evidences in your classes. You will continue to do that. I keep getting people who can't seem to understand. If you are in MEL 602 through 604, you will stay on the same schedule as outlined in the handbook when you came in, which is the 2004 handbook. If you're in either of my 603 or 604 classes, I'm going to show you this video. I have that handbook online on our Blackboard page for you to look at. So the schedule that you were originally on for which components were due in which semesters, that's still the same for you if you're in 602 through 604. If you're in 601, you just do the APSEL this semester. There is no schedule. You got to finish the APSEL this semester. So that shouldn't be a problem. There should be no confusion in that. Now, folks who are in 602 through 604, the only change really for you is you have to submit a competency portfolio in TaskStream where you submit an evidence for that you have completed all 21 competencies. Now, that's not really even a change for you, because at the end of the program before, your internship supervisor came out at the end of 605 and sat down with your principal and went through the list of competencies. We just do that online now. So it's not like if you're in 602 through 604, you've only got to show 1 evidence for each of the 21 competencies. Now, if you're in 603, if you're in 601, if you're starting this semester, you have to do 3 competencies for each of the 21. You have to do 3 evidences for each of the 21 competencies. But for those of you who are in 602 through 605 this semester, you just have to submit 1 evidence for each of the 21 competencies. And that is covered later on in the handbook. Now, the handbook, so if you entered the program before fall, there's a competency folio in TaskStream. You submit an evidence for the 21, just 1. If you started this semester and you're in 601, you will provide 3 evidences for each of the 21 competencies. That's the only difference there. Now, there's some verbiage in here about synchronizing it, but here are the competencies that you have to submit 1 evidence of. Here's the process. Here's what it looks like in TaskStream. You'll go in. Here's an acceptable evidence of what you did. A document, a bulletin, a recording, a newscast, meetings, minutes of a meeting, web page. It's artifacts is what these are. This requires no writing. You just show something that you did. It's an artifact of something that you did, or an evidence that you did. So, those of you who are in 601, you will do digital competencies too. I will cover this with you when I come out to your school to make our initial visit. This does not relate if you're in 602 through 604, as I told you. But this is the new 601 has to do the digital learning competencies. But that is to be covered by me as your clinical coach when I come out during that first visit. So that's not anything to have to worry about at this time. We'll cover that when I come out. And dispositions, you do your self-dispositions first. When I come out and visit with you, I'll do the other half of your disposition. That's called the professional disposition conference. It's the first site visit for you 601 folks. The rest of you stay on the same track that you've been on. If you're in 602 through 605, you stay exactly on the same track you've been on. Your turn-in schedule for your evidence artifacts is the same. Same process of peer review, the same process of Blackboard. Everything stays the same for you, except you just go to that folio, that competency folio in TaskStream and load 1 evidence for each one of those 21 competencies. That's the only additional thing. And as I said, you had to do that before, but you format in 605. Now you just do it online. So that will be, there's no extra work for you if you vote. Peer review. You need to read through this. If you're in 601 and you haven't done peer reviews, what happens there is you and your colleagues post your work in Blackboard. I have my students do it in discussion board, where it can be peer reviewed, and the peer reviews can be posted there. You're also using Zoom to do online peer reviews that are student directed. That process is also right here. You'll need to read this 601. If you have questions, when I come out and visit with you individually, is when I will go over that with you on how to do peer reviews if you're unfamiliar with that. That's something that your instructor should teach you in 601. If they don't, that's okay. I'll pick it up when I come out. I don't want to cover a lot of these things because I don't want to step on your instructor's toes. Most of this stuff is to be covered by your 601 instructor, and I don't want to give you conflicting information. Everybody does things a little bit differently. So read these things, and when I come out and visit with you, if you're unclear on how to do a Zoom peer review or how to do a written peer review or where to submit that in Blackboard, I will cover that with you at that time. I'll catch up anything that's not been caught by your instructor. I catch it clinical coach when I come out and visit with you. But it's all spelled out in the book and how to upload your videos, style guide for writing your evidence artifacts. All those things are in here, an example of what it should look like. And so, again, if you're in 602 through 604, what's relevant to you in this handbook is that competency portfolio in TaskStream, but you will have to add one evidence of each of the 21 competencies in TaskStream now, rather than at a meeting with your principal at the end of your program in 605. It's just a change in format and how you do that. But you've always had to do that. So there's nothing extra for you folks in 602. It's just a different format. 602 through 605, it's just a different format. But again, here are the acceptable evidences. for each of those 21 competencies. Get back to that. Here are the acceptable evidences. You can see they aren't written things. It's things that it's products that you generated by doing the work in your internship, your 400 hours. And here are the competencies that you have to meet right here. Communication effectively listens to other, clearly presents and understands information, or something like this would be minutes from a meeting, would satisfy that one. Change management, a successful implementation of say an after school program, the flyer from that would be the evidence of that. Conflict management, notes from a parent meeting, or the page out of your calendar where you had a parent meeting. Just things. These aren't things that you have to sit and write up. This is stuff that you will have generated through your internship hours already. You just have to pull those things together and stick them in TaskStream for you folks in 602 through 604. For you folks in 601, it's the same thing, but you're going to have to do it 3 times rather than just 1 time. But as you read through these, you'll know exactly, oh, I did this, that fits that. And let's go and pick it up. It's a flyer, it's minutes, it's a video, it's a conference call, it's a date out of your calendar, something like that. Effectively uses latest technologies. That might be something like a video of you using technology in your classroom, or technology might be emails where you use technology or a Zoom video where you use Zoom to do a PLC meeting rather than have to get together with PLC. These things are fairly simple and quick. These are not meant to take you months or even hours. You'll go over these and you'll figure these out very quickly. Now, I've gone a couple minutes over on that, but make sure you read the handbook. Again, the salient things here again you folks, you're just going to add your competency folio, 1 evidence for each of the 21 competencies in the page. That's the only thing that's really different for you. The new people, you're going to be doing 3 of those, and you're going to learn how to do Zoom peer reviews, and you're going to learn how to do just regular peer reviews, and your instructor in 601 will teach you that. Again, let me reiterate. All is not lost if your work is peer reviewed and then goes to TaskStream and doesn't get at least a 3. It has to get a 3 to pass out of 5, or out of 4, excuse me. 4 is passing, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is accomplished, 3 is sufficient. 3 is passing. If you don't get that, your evaluator will get in touch with me and I will work with you. I'll either work with you by Zoom, by email, or I'll come out and visit with you. There's a way for us to get it done. But don't feel like, well, my work went through the process and they failed me. No, we will work with you to get it, and I will work with you to get it where it needs to be. And I have buku experience doing that, so it won't be a problem. All right, now, I think that pretty much covers everything. You just got to read this stuff. A lot of these things are things for you to do in TaskStream, where you go in and do your dispositions, your self-dispositions. Do you have these skills and competencies? Now, what we expect is that you won't be perfect at them to begin with, but we expect some growth over the course of the program, so that you can't give yourself a 5 first semester on a scale of 5. If you're going to give yourself a 3, that's okay. You may grow into that 5. But again, when I come out and make that first visit with you, we'll cover dispositions. We'll cover, you'll probably tell me things that you've got that you think might be evidences of those competencies. That first meeting will need to be somewhere in the 30 to 90-minute range, according to how much help you need. I also would like to see your principal for 15 minutes or less during that time, just to touch bases with them. Now, I noticed that some things were loaded for me in TaskStream today. Not all of my students have been loaded into TaskStream yet, unfortunately. So I'm not going to start meeting right away. I'm going to wait I'm going to wait a few days to start meetings, but in preparation for that, for those of you who are online with me and those of you who will be viewing this video later, what I need for you to do is starting the first week in October, and I hate to wait that late, but as I said, all my students haven't been loaded yet. Actually, starting Monday the 26th of September, that gives us a little over a week to get everything squared away in TaskStream. Starting Monday the 26th of September, what I want you to do is send me an email of, number one, where you are, the actual street address of your school. And trust me, I've gone to the wrong place so many times. I want the street address so that I can GPS it of where your school is, and tell me the time, each day of the week, Monday through Friday, when the best time would be for me to spend, probably an hour with you. Which day of the week and what time of the day that it would be, and I will start emailing you confirmations, and I'll come and sit down with you for an hour, and we'll go through all this stuff. It'll make plenty of sense once we do that. But starting the 26th now, it changes the next week. Do me a couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks through the month of October, from the last week of September to the month of October. Tell me each week what day would be the best day or days, and what times would be the best time. Give me some flexibility in that time, and I hope to be able to make multiple site visits during the day when I'm there. So let me know for 5 weeks, starting the last week in September, all 4 weeks of October, when would be the time would be best during the week, which day of the week, and what time would be best for me to come and visit. Okay? If you'll email me that, we'll get a schedule out quickly. Again, I would love to start next week, but everybody's not loaded yet, and I don't do the loading into TaskStream, and I can't until you're loaded in there. I can't see what we're doing when I get out there. So I'll give it another week just to be sure. I've got a couple of on-campus activities next week anyway that would prevent me from traveling very far. I've got faculty meeting on Friday. I've got a final defense dissertation on Monday. I've got a Wednesday meeting, and so it would be difficult for me to get out next week anyway, but I will start getting out the following week on the 26th. Questions you have for me about the handbook, about me being your clinical coach, anything that I can answer for you, I will certainly try.
I have a question.
Okay.
Just to recap what you said about those competencies, you said we need one per.
If you're in 602 through 604, you need one for every one of the 21.
So I can pick any one of those things to put in that, say, like APSL 1. Or does it?
Now, these aren't related to your evidence artifact work. They may be something that was generated through that work. But let's go back and look at that. Here are the competencies.
So it'll come up communication. These are totally different. Okay.
These are the competencies for North Carolina administrators. These were given previously, and when we would come out and do the final visit with you and your principal, we would go over this list with them. Now we're just going to do it in TaskStream. You will submit one for communication, one for change management, one for conflict management, one for creative thinking. You had to do that before at your final meeting with your principal. I actually had a list of suggested activities, and we went over that, and every time I would go and visit each of the 5 semesters, we would update where you were on that list. Have you done those things? What had you done to each? And you and I and the student, the principal, and I would sit down each time I'd go out, and we'd look and see, all right, what'd you do to satisfy this one? That was a long and drawn-out process. It required a lot of visits and a lot of time. This shortens the process and makes it much easier on both the student, the principal's time, and the clinical coach's time. You just go down the list and put something in, and we say, yep, that looks good to us. rather than having to get me and you and the principal to sit down for an hour and a half at a time to go over the list.
Okay, got it.
It's a very long
Thank you.
and drawn out process. I'll even show you. Well, no, I won't do that. But let me see if I can show you what we used to do quickly. This might help you to understand a little bit better.
Mr. Lamb?
See, I don't have all. See, I only have 3. Yes.
My name's Drew. I don't know why it says pops up HR admin up there, but can I request that you mute or whoever's
Maria, I think. Maria, can you mute?
Because I can't hear very well.
I can't hear either. I mean, I'm having a very hard time hearing.
Okay.
It's like if you say something, you can unmute it, but
okay.
Thank you very much.
Let me go. Let me go here and go here. Let's see if this will pop up. So, in the past, what we would do, you see, we had the certification of competency. We would go over that, and let's see. Let me go through this one right here. So, what we would do is we would sit down with you and your principal along the way. And we would go over this list of suggested activities that prove that you had done those 21 competencies. So I'm going to go back to screen share in just 1 second and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, hold 1 second. It's coming up. Okay. All right, new share. All right, rather than doing it, let me see, let me find this. Try this one. Aha. Rather than having you submit an evidence in TaskStream for each of those 21 competencies, previously what we would do is we would sit down with you and your principal and we would go over this list of things that represent competency. And it was directed by us, and you had to kind of conform to what this list of things said you could do. Now you get to pick how you satisfy each of those 21 competencies. You don't have to do it in a group format, and it's a lot quicker and easier for you and for us, and it gives you more self-direction in terms of you get to pick what you want to do to show that you achieved each one of these 21 competencies. So it takes the onus off of the clinical coach and the principal and puts it back on the student, but it also gives you a lot more flexibility in how you prove to us that you have achieved these 21 competencies. And again, if you're in 601, you've got to do this 3 times. And if you're in 602 through 605, you just do it the 1 time. Okay?
Sir?
Yes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, sorry I came in a little late. I sent you the email, but I was stuck in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
But can this all be in narrative form? Like a description, or does it have to have, I heard you said the video or some other.
Here are the, let me show you what the acceptance right here. This is in the handbook. Video.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it says documents. So if you want to write something up,
yeah,
that'd be fine with me. I mean, you're my intern. I don't have a problem with that.
But I'm saying, do you need a variety, or can it be like everyone is embedded in a document from before? Because I put a lot of drive and motivation and work into those previous artifacts. So I kind of have, I think, what I need to taste it over, kind of.
Well, if you think that is proof of what you did,
right?
I can go along with that but this is more of an evidence based in terms of you have a product that shows what you did rather than just a write up. This is more of an artifact base. You know, we kind of use the terms backwards. Evidence is actually the written narrative. An artifact is what's produced as a result of the work that you did, like a newspaper, a web page, a spreadsheet, a document, a journal, a newscast, a flyer for a family night or something like that. Now you can write in your long-term goal in your skip is to have family math night. You can write that, or you can put a flyer that shows you had the family math night. Work just as well.
Yes, sir. And this will become available in TaskStream within the next couple of weeks, probably?
That's my understanding, and that's why I said I don't want to start scheduling. It's not even all, as you saw it, I've only got 3 students loaded in mine so far. So it's supposed to be loaded by the last week of September. I'll wait till the first week of October. But this is supposed to be loaded, and this is what it's going to look like in TaskStream, supposedly.
And one last question, and then I'm done, I promise. So when it comes available in TaskStream, can I knock it all out within like a week, or do I need to kind of wait? Like, is it something I can just finish?
It's gonna take you a whole week. You can knock it out in an hour, I think.
Okay,
that'd be great.
Thank you. Understood. I just didn't know. Okay, gotcha.
To be as time consuming as your evidence artifact work.
10-4.
This is what it's supposedly going to look like in TaskStream, and you just go in and just drop them right in. It's got 1 page. You just drop it right in for that competency. And here, it can be write-ups. It can be, according to this, it can be most anything you can think of. Hold 1 second. Hello? Yeah, I'm in class. I'm on video right now. Call me back in 10 minutes. All right. Okay. Sorry. All right. So, Maria, I can't hear you at all. Just go ahead and mute yours, and Maria, whatever questions you have, send them to me in an email. All right. Other questions? Mary, you have any questions?
No, I think I got most of it. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person and just kind of looking at some things particular, in particular. But
okay, what class are you in, Mary?
603 right now.
603. So the only thing is just the only thing that's different for you is the competency folio, right?
Yeah, seems from what you've already shared. Yeah.
So you stay on the same.
I will say this is my little critique. Since I've started the program, I felt like we should have had a systematic flow from one artifact to another instead of working, sporadically, but I have to stay on that track.
Yeah, we started out, understanding that we started out doing them, the flow from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6.
I was very challenged with working all over the map like that.
Yes, I am too.
I think it's my brain.
And so I can actually show you in TaskStream when when I piloted the first group, we did them one at a time. I thought that was the best system, but I was overruled on that, and by the next year we started doing the shuffle, as I call it. Mm-hmm. So the folks in 601 will go back to the flow again, which I think I've advocated for ever since, but it does make it challenging. Now, the argument for the shuffle is that administrators can't just work on learning programs for a month.
Application.
Yeah, and then work on staff development for a month, and then work on community for a month. That you have to be able to multitask. However, I think the flow is better. That's just me. I think it is. But so what I do with my students is I encourage them to work on them one at a time. and work within the structure of the turn-ins, and they seem to be okay doing that. They get a little ahead that way though. They usually finish. My interns and students usually finish by the midway of 6:04 doing it that way, which is not a bad thing. But it does put you under the gun to do it that way. So, for example, in 6:01 you do all the APSEL, and you do in 6:02 you do all the APTEL, and then you do half of the skip in each, and you have all three of those done after 2 semesters.
I think what also confused me is going between submit for evaluation and submit to instructor. That was.
That's gone again. Thank goodness that's gone. Now it's just submit.
Okay,
it'll be
or
great.
submit for evaluation, because there's stuff I did over the summer that was submit to instructor, and then I went back just this afternoon to look for the notes and the suggestions. And I mean, maybe it's just something I need to go back and revisit, but I can't find his recommendations.
Dude, that's not good.
No, and he had some really good recommendations, so I wanted to go back and fix some of it and then submit for evaluation.
Right.
So that's worrisome.
Yeah. It's hard to keep. It's like juggling 6 balls at one time.
Always.
And it's not like that you don't have anything else to do. You're not full-time students. I mean, you're full-time workers.
Right.
And that was always my biggest argument is these folks are full-time. They have full-time jobs, and they
I
have
2 jobs.
and it's too many balls to juggle at one time. So for those of you in 601, it's going to be easier for you. We're going to go back to the old style where we have.
So maybe when I meet with you, I'll just ask you probably some quick questions about the task stream.
I will cover task stream. If you have work that you want me to review, I'll tell you quickly what needs to be done to fix it if it needs fixing.
Okay. I don't want to inundate you, but there was just I think 3 or 4 things I had to submit at the end of the summer classes with Dr. Peel, and his notes were informative, and I wanted to go back and take my time to add what needed to be added in a timely manner, but paced so it could be better, more efficient. But I don't know how to access his notes, so maybe when you come out we could look at
that. I can show you how to access his notes in TaskStream.
Okay, sounds good.
That won't be a problem. I can show you how to get in. I can go in the back door if I have to get those.
Okay, good.
Other questions?
I'm good. I might just check out.
All right. I'm checking out. My 30 minutes is up. I've got to get ready for my next class.
All right, thank you.
Video, for those who didn't work with me, I'll post this video later this evening once it processes to YouTube, and I'll send everybody the link. So everybody have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Send me those dates when you're available over the 5 weeks starting the last week of this month, and then the 4 weeks of next month, and I'll get out to see you. And I promise it'll be good.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.